Third stimulus check and third stimulus package. It was debuted yesterday in a press conference. It didn't say a lot, but the great news is we see it does have a lot. Earlier today on LALATE, in the world exclusive, first heard on YouTube on this channel, I delivered the details to you of the third stimulus check and third stimulus package. There's a lot of stuff in there that was not even mentioned in the press conference. We always thought that was going to be the case. Meantime, two items like the SSI and SSDI aren't in the second stimulus. The third stimulus. I had told you that since October, that they're going to be a standalone bill. We now know that's true. Also, the student loan debt forgiveness, also a standalone bill. So this bill has a lot of incredible, great stuff in there. Yeah, it still needs some fixing, so it needs some futzing. But when you look at the detail, this is a draft of the bill that's 30-something pages long. You see the incredible great details across the board. I'm really excited for you. This is great news. In this recording, I go over these details for you on third stimulus check and third stimulus package. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are you? It's Friday. You reached the weekend, ready to crush the weekend. I am too. What a day it is, as we now have the third stimulus check and third stimulus package bill draft in my hand. I was the first to deliver this to you in not one, but 3 live recordings earlier today. But now that I can sort of digest it, I'm going to go over the details with you in this analytical report and explain how much great stuff there really is in this bill. So please subscribe. Go to the front channel, subscribe. Hit that alert button, that bell, so you get alert when I next go live, which is right after this on third stimulus, on Being a Mitch. And also like this video. I also want to personally thank the viewers of this channel. This channel is now at 89 million views. And by all account, we will reach 100 million views by our 9th month, which is the end of this month. 100 million views in 9 months has never been done, even close, in the history of YouTube. So I really appreciate your patronage. Also, if you're not joined, please join by clicking that link at the top of this video, underneath this video, to become either a Purple Power member, Calcino VIP, or a Purple Hawk. One of the new emojis on this channel launched overnight says, "It's not law yet," because it's not law yet. And you can see in this video why that's so important, that message, because you'll actually see, especially when we talk about FPUC, that could still be retro and still $600 a week. It actually says we need to figure out how to make this law. It actually says that in here. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that viewers of this channel are very smart and very savvy and love great information. And they've now learned that when I said, wait till you see the bill, wait till you see the law, don't get your hopes up and don't get your hopes down, because we have to see what happens. Well, last night we were a little bit down because we didn't hear a lot of stuff. Then we got really our hopes much better today after we saw this. Let me explain what's going on. Joe Biden's third stimulus package is called the America Rescue Plan. I had been telling you since October, his third stimulus package was not, and repeat, not going to have the SSI and SSDI, Social Security Railroad Benefits provision in there. It was going to be a standalone bill. Why? Because in his transition papers, Joe Biden talks about a lot of things he wants to do. One of them was SSI and SSDI. The 3 items I talk about a lot on this channel. The $200 a month to December of 2021, plus an up to 20% increase and a lifetime new benchmark different than COLA. Now, I had been telling you since October, it's going to be a standalone bill. It's not going to be part of the package. Why? Because it's not really stimulus. Yes, the $200 looks like stimulus because it is because of the COVID. It's a specific time frame they're just doing this. But everything else is to fix a program, a series of programs that have been needing fixing for many, many, many years. Also, his transition papers mention this item right in same paragraphs right next to things like fixing highways. Well, that's not part of the third stimulus package. Fixing the schools. That's also not part of the third stimulus package. He wants to have a lot of bills about a lot of subjects, and people just presume that because there was money involved, that was part of the third stimulus package. But I said to the viewers of this channel, it's not going to be part of it. It'll be standalone. We also now know that the student loan debt forgiveness that he said on last Friday of $10,000 per person is also going to be a standalone bill because it's not stimulus. It's like forgiving debts. It's not, stimulus is sending out money. It's not forgiving debts or fixing retirement programs. Those are different types of things that have to be done. And so when are they going to get done? The new reports today say that the stimulus package won't be introduced until the 20th, which is 5 days from now. So they're going to do that, and then they're going to get to these other things. So let's get to these other things. And I'm going to explain each of them very slowly with you and help you understand what exactly is the situation currently on each of them. First, let me go to the stimulus check. If you are an adult dependent, you're going to get $3,200. And when I say going to, I say based upon this. This could always get modified. So I don't want to keep on using the same expression. It's not law yet, but you got the point. If you're an adult dependent, you're going to get $3,200 under his plan. How does that work? $1,200 under the first stimulus check you never got of 2020. March 2020, CARES Act 1, $1,200 for that, and $2,000 under this third stimulus package. So $3,200 for adult dependents. Everyone else would get $1,400. Children, $1,400. Adults, $1,400. Married couple, $1,400 and $1,400. That's on top of your $600 that is somewhere in the mail and it's going to come, pretty soon. Oh, so now this is not particularly a multiple stimulus check, I know, and it's also not particularly a $2,000 stimulus check. It's a $1,400 stimulus check, and AOC certainly had a comment about that as well. There's always room for modification. If you don't like this, go on social media and use this video and tag the transition team of Biden and say, hey, I don't think that's enough. Give me more. But it's better than nothing, at least for now. Joe Biden says he'll do several packages until so needed. And what you see throughout this bill is he talks about coming back and doing more bills over time. All right, the next thing that I want to go over is hazard pay. Now, this one's a particular example of confusion. You heard him mention the word hazard pay yesterday, and there is a mention of hazard pay in here. Not once, but twice. There's two different hazard pays in here. Yes. So immediately you're going to say, wait a second. Okay, this sounds complicated. It is complicated. And it does not give numbers, one. It does not give guidance as to eligibility, two. It does not give guidance as to time frame, three. But the way the words sound, it looks like the following. One, if you work in fire rescue or anything that is a government city or county type thing, like fire rescue, ambulatory, frontline emergency services, he's going to give money to the cities and counties that will then give the money to you. So you don't have to do anything. It's going to go right to you. Okay, that is the first group. The second group, he talks about that retail, which I really like this word, because I've been covering that retail generally is not essential workers, general retail. He says retail, and he talks about groceries. Sounds like the grocery union. I told you one of the most powerful unions in the country is the grocery union. Had been working during this pandemic, and the bosses, the owners, have not been paying you hazard pay. He says, I'm going to be speaking to the CEOs to ensure that they pay you hazard pay. What does that sound like? It sounds like what's happening in LA County. In LA County, they passed a rule that required grocery stores to pay you hazard pay. So the LA County did not spend their own money to pay you hazard pay. They required your employer to pay you hazard pay, or the employer will be, fined by the federal, fined or criminally prosecuted, things like that. They will pay you, and they do pay you. So it looks like Joe Biden is going to pass a federal rule that will require employers to pay you hazard pay in certain industries. Here, I really do think that certain people will be left out and certain people will be included. People that will be left out may be very, very small business operation employees, and people who will likely be included that may never have been included are people who are in retail at big box retail businesses. So if you're big box or you work for anything that's a major organization, you look like you're in a good position now for the federal government to require the employer to pay you hazard pay. It sounds like you don't have to apply. The employer will be required by a law to pay you. More about that to come. Again, no numbers, no eligibility, no details. That's the phrasing of the words that I'm going over with you. FPUC retro. FPUC retro. The great news that we now see in this, and you got to read it very, very slowly, is it says that you need to extend unemployment boost supplements more than where it is now, ending on March 14th. It then says we need a number for it. Biden thinks that $400 a week is a number for it, but he's open to hear from Congress what they think the number is. Item number one, $400 is not a line in the sand. It is not a etched in stone number. He's just proposing the number $400 a week. Second, he absolutely categorically does not state what days FPUC is running for him. He says he wants to extend it, but he also says, I don't know where we need to extend it for. And I want to go over the conversation with legislators on where FPUC should go from and to and from. Basically, he is absolutely making very clear that he's not made a decision about FPUC retro, yes or no. I'll repeat again. There is no determination about FPUC retro, yes or no. I'll make it very clear. There's also no determination that $400 a week is the number or not the number. That's also very clear. Finally, he has a brilliant provision in there, which sort of like he sounds like he's listening to this channel throughout all of 2020. I told you there has to be a way to pass these laws faster than sitting around and doing 6,000-page bills every 3 weeks. He says, you know what? I'm going to have a provision in here that they can just send out more money with a quick vote or a quick modification. They don't have to do new bills all the time. If we need to modify the FPUC number and modify the weeks, we can do it. We don't need to get Congress back into session every time. Wow, that is incredible. Unbelievable. Now, is there EIDL in there? Is there PPP? Is there another $10,000 grant? The great news as we sit here today is that there is business grants there is a business grant in there, and there is a business loan in there, and it sounds like it could be totally new. We don't know who, what, where, when. We do know the amount. It's a lot. That's good. But the first one is a business grant for any business that was impacted from the pandemic. He's going to give you money to get back on your feet. Don't know anything about it. Don't know what it's called. Don't know how the eligibility is. Anything about it. Second, he's proposed an enormous sum of money for businesses that want to start, that are brand new, starting today, that didn't even exist before today, or that are existing that want to grow because they've been hurt by the pandemic, as a loan. So if you have a business and you want to grow it because you want to start a new business, he will give you a loan. If you want to start something new, he will give you a loan. A massive, massive amount of loans. Insane amount. This is great news. So if you want to start something and get yourself going onto something brand new, the federal government will give you an incredible loan, and he says this loan will pay for itself because of the money the federal government will make on it. Amen. So this is great news. Next, he proposes to extend SNAP benefits to the end of September at an additional 15%. There's money in there for childcare. There's money in there for internet in a strange way. And then there's a food program that sounds like it's a brand new food program that helps both the recipients and the makers, the cookers of the food. What is it called? It's a FEMA grant program that basically says we will pay the restaurants to make food for you and deliver food to you. It sounds like what they have in LA County for seniors, where you can get food delivered from restaurants and the government pays for it and it gets reimbursed by FEMA. He's going to do it on a federal level. Finally, rent. Rent will be paid, can be gotten by people from low income and middle class people. So if you're middle class and working and have a job and actually putting food on the table but still having problems paying rent, he will have a rent program for you. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff in here. Even at the 14-minute mark of this video, I'm trying to think if I'm remembering it all. Can you imagine I read this bill less than a few hours ago and I'm trying to remember it all by heart rather than read through it as, slow diatribe. So let's recap. SSI and SSDI standalone bill, the $10,000 student loan debt standalone bill, this stimulus check, $1,400, but if you're adult dependent, you're getting $3,200 because you got getting 2 checks. Rent aid, utilities aid, food aid, SNAP, then the restaurant food aid as well, business grants, business loans, FPUC, and I think we're sort of good. I think we're sort of good. Then there's a lot of other things in there that are not particularly clear. The great news is that the viewers of this channel in receiving this today really followed my lead, and I really appreciate you. It was 6 months ago when I was describing things that were coming from Mitch McConnell, that he was going to announce something on a Monday, and it was going to become this bill and the that bill and the skinny bill. People would just always presume that was their fate, and I said, it's not your fate. It's not even a bill yet from Mitch. It's not even a law yet from Mitch. It hasn't even been voted on yet from Mitch. So don't worry about it. The great response I saw in the last 48 hours absolutely warms my heart, where people understood it's not a bill yet. This is a proposal. This is a draft of a bill. It's not law yet. There's an emoji for this channel. It's not law yet. And so you shouldn't get yourself worked up, high or low, positive or negative, one way or the other, until we see where we're going. But you're a Purple Hawk. You're a Purple Hawk, and you have purple power, and you're also Calcino VIP. You can go on social media and push the narrative, tag them, and say, you know what? Thank you for this, but we need this also. Or this is not particularly correct. Yes, this morning I certainly thought that this was all we got before I got this draft of the bill. Now I'm really, really excited for you. But there is major room for improvement, and you can still push the room for improvement. Join me next on Afternoons LA as I continue with Being a Mitch. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay in LA for more.